You're welcome to the Friday edition of Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. This is where we take you on the journey into the world of sports from the local front to the European scene, the world of transfer, basketball, football, cricket, hockey, all sports on the go right here on Dominion Television. I am Paul Toluwanemi Abe, and I'm not alone in the studio. I have the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun, the man who is so gifted in the setting updates in the world of sport right here on the go. Top of the morning to you. You're welcome to the Friday edition.
Beautiful morning to you, Toluwanemi. It's really nice to be here to talk sports. We call it weekend sports.
Yeah, weekend sports.
And this is where we bring you unbiased analysis and undiluted reports. So thank you for joining us on today's edition of the show. We've got a lot to unpack on this show. Yes, the weekend is here already. The English Premier League, never slowing down. The German Bundesliga, the French League on. Now, quite a number of games to be seen over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and of course, some on Monday nights. And definitely we are going to bring you unbiased analysis on the show this morning.
All right, that's the update coming through from Samson Balogun, the captain himself. And trust me, you're going to enjoy all this and more on the show. We have so much to discuss, but let's start off from the local front where the games are popping up right there in the MPFL. Over the week, we saw our Shooting Stars were able to defeat the defending champions Remo Stars, but there you have to scream. These are the fixtures for the weekend in the MPFL coming thick and fast. There you have it. Economy Water are going to welcome Bara FC. Abia Warriors are going to play Rivers United. That's going to be a big game. Kano Pillars yet again are going to welcome Kun Khalifa. Accra United against Niger Tornadoes, Nasarawa United against Shooting Stars. Before we move to the next one, let's just discuss this game quickly. Samson Balogun, how do you see this game for Abia Warriors and Rivers United?
I think it's going to be a make or mar affair for these two teams. The seriousness of both teams will be tested this weekend and see who gets to get the nod ahead of the other. Abia Warriors this season, they have fought tooth and nail to remain where they are on the log in the top four. Rivers United, even though they have bounced in and out of the top four due to commitment on the continental scene, they have still been able to show and prove a point one way or the other. And you know, when you are playing just the league, there is 100% concentration. You have nothing else you are worrying about unless there are league cups to be played. But if you play on the continent, sometimes you get to shelve some of your games and they turn out to be outstanding games and you are not even sure you are going to win them when you are going to play because your opponent is well rested, way more than you. So it's a little bit different for Rivers United. But I think that their absence from continental scene this weekend should actually be one of the things that spurs them on to play against Abia Warriors. Don't forget, it's the debut of the Southeast, Abia Warriors in that part, and of course Rivers United also being from the same region of the country. So we want to see exactly what will happen in the South and the Southeast. Let's see what Abia Warriors can bring today.
I want to ask you, do you think Kun Khalifa can pull up a surprise against Kano Pillars?
Well, if you look at Kun Khalifa this season, yes, they have not been consistent. But then when they play with intent. We have seen them display good skills on the ball, fantastic players in the team. All that is left is confidence, consistency and maybe a little bit more of motivation for the players. But I see them doing a lot going into the the remainder of the season. But against Kano Pillars, yes, Kano Pillars is a struggling team. They have struggled for most part of the season. In fact, they have struggled all season. Let me put it that way, because you cannot be in that position and we will not emphatically state that you have struggled or you are struggling. So for Kun Khalifa too, inconsistently they have struggled too. And they are not in the position they would love to be. We have seen situations where the management has to change coaches, change some members of the management to see what exactly they can do differently. One thing they are fighting for is to remain in the league. And at whose expense? At the expense of teams like Kano Pillars that are failing and faltering so far this season. So I think they are going to Kano to make a statement.
I agree.
They might just get a result away in Kano. But I see Kano Pillars also putting these in the bag, all 3 points in this game. Because they know it's all to play for.
It's all to play for.
And if they truly mean business in getting out of the deep pit they currently find themselves, they have to do everything possible to make sure they get points against teams like Kun Khalifa. So Ahmed Musa, Rabiu Ali, Pele, Abdullah Shehu, the most senior players in the team will really be scratching their heads to see what exactly they can do differently against teams like Kun Khalifa. At least when you play at home, get all 3 points. Let's see the next 5 games. Let's see where that pushes you. We have always emphasized on this show that the table is unstable, and we have seen teams move from 5th down to 10th, all in the space of just 1 game. You win, you lose, you draw. That can make a very huge statement on your placement on the log. So let's see what will happen in this game. But I see Kano Pillars putting up a fight. It might just end in a draw for the two teams.
All right, let's look at the game between Nasarawa United and Shooting Stars Football Club. My eyes are actually going to be fixed on Abia Warriors game and Rivers United, but let's look at Nasarawa United and Shooting Stars going away. I remember yesterday, was it yesterday or Tuesday, you said that, let's see if Coach Nuruddin Aweroro can keep up the 5 games momentum yet again this season. It's 2 wins, in the last 4 or 5 games right now. But right now, he's going away from home. Do you think this would be another test, to the team's, how do I put it now, compatibility going forward against Nasarawa United, who looks in form this season in the MPFL?
I think, it's going to be a tall order for Shooting Stars to expect a result away from home. I'm not trying to undermine what they have built so far this season, but if you look at their last 2 performances, even at home, it only points to one direction, that the team is really shaky at this time. Yes, they've got some players who are back from injury who could really slot into the team and, be of help to the team at this time when they are having some injuries. But then, I will still repeat this. They are struggling to score goals. And if you struggle to score at home, what will happen when you go to play against teams like Nasarawa United away from home? Intermittently, Nasarawa United have led the league this season. And at a point, they stayed there for about 5 games straight on the bounce. So that tells you how serious Nasarawa United is as on the log and, of course, in the league this season. So I want to believe that Shooting Stars, for them to get a result away in Nasarawa, they have to put a very big fight against Nasarawa United. But the maximum result I see them getting in this one will be a draw. And
how do you see the defenders putting up with Anas Yusuf, a top striker for Nasarawa United? Do you think the Shooting Stars defender can, keep him silent in the game going away from home?
Well, if it's about defenders doing their job, I think so far this season, except for a few mistakes they have made in some cases where in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 games of the season where we spotted the same kind of errors in the team, lack of communication. I think they have been able to blend well. We have seen Alamin and Gola Gade, being good partners in defense. And we have also seen a shift in left back to Jamiu Hamzat instead of Ikulem Utin, who was out injured. And of course, Gali Fauke also out of the team. We have seen Justice doing fantastically well at right back. Just a few touches and then you'll be a top-notch right back for Shooting Stars. But then, when it comes to keeping a player silent, it's not really about the defense line. It's about the team. If the team is playing, it is easy for you to tame one player. But if your team is not playing, you become laughing stock. You become, just other defenders. You become ordinary. Let me put it that way. So, for Shooting Stars, they have what I can call a gold mine on their hands in terms of defenders, especially in the center defensive partnership of Agbola Gade Alowo Alamen. Don't forget one of the best defenders in the league last season, Desmond. Is back from injury and is already in the team. We have seen Alex Agawa all through last season a few times. Intermittently played as a centre back and of course played as a number 4, played as a number 6. So he did so well for Shooting Stars last season. Yes, he was out injured, but he's back in the team. But then why I'm saying all this is because even if a player is removed from that, there is one I can call
fantastic
for center defense. There is able replacement, and on the flanks too, we have seen players come in and then they've done really well. Against Remo Stars, we saw what Jamiu Hamzat was able to do. Fantastic player going forward, also solid when defending. Just a few touches and then you find a top player in Jamiu Hamzat, and same for Justice. But then the team really has to play as a team. They really have to be able to blend together and then give a good account of themselves on the field of play against Nasarawa United. Otherwise, the defenders we have hyped so much will just be ordinary.
I agree.
So it's not really about 1, 2, 3 or 4 players. It's about all the 11 players being on the same page on the field of play and playing to the optimum performance.
All right, let's move away from that. Let's look at other fixtures in the MPFL quickly. We have Plateau United are going to welcome Warri Wolves. We have Rangers International playing Bayelsa United. Remo Stars are also going to welcome Eyimba United. Wiki Tourist to Ikorodu City. Let's pick Remo Stars game against Eyimba, and also Wiki Tourist for you. Samson Balogun, Remo Stars, look like a team. You get back in form. Today again, a slip up from them. The last game was not, the result they wanted, but they're going to play the People's Elephant, Eyimba United. This is a big game. Do you think Remo Stars can churn out all 3 points, or Eyimba needs the game more?
Well, they both need this game. Remo Stars, we spoke about how inconsistent they have been so far this season. But Eyimba too, they have shown a little bit of inconsistency, but I can say emphatically that they are way better than Remo Stars in terms of placement on the log and definitely how they have fared so far this season. But you see, there's a crisis at Remo Stars, and they are living in denial. Nobody has come out to openly say, oh, we have a problem. But then, it is crystal clear for everyone to see. You cannot be a champion last season and then become one of the whipping boys this season. I mean, it's becoming more alarming, and people are now getting to see exactly what the problem is. And if you look at how they played when they played against Shooting Stars on Wednesday, I was sitting beside someone who said probably Remo Stars had to send their under 19 or under 20 team because it was awful. I mean, not the performance you would expect from a defending champion. And I've always laid this emphasis about, teams finishing in the top places a season before and the following season they are nowhere to be found. That's not good for the league. I mean, it's not the league will never be able. You will never be able to market your league if it happens that way. I mean, nobody is even sure if they put their money on Wiki Tourist as champions this season that they are going to repeat the same feat next season. I mean, I don't think in the last 10 years you have seen a team that has won back-to-back league titles. So these are things we should believe, and it's not monopolistic ideology. It's about you understanding that sometimes some teams are just stronger than other teams, and they tend to repeat their feats season in, season out. So I am not really too comfortable with the position Remo Stars is in right now. They paid their dues to win the league. Last season they finished as runners-up. This season, 2 seasons ago they finished as runners-up. Last season they won the league, and this season they are faltering. They have a crisis. One thing I want to highlight in all those 3 seasons is the fact that they paid their dues and they climbed up the ladder until they eventually won the league last season. So what is happening this season? If you're not going to win the league, at least stay in the top 4. Arsenal consistently they have been in the top 4. We know that they are knocking on the door. They want to win the league. In the last 4 or 5 seasons, at least let's say since Mikel Arteta came on board, they have consistently finished a place where you would think, oh, it's just a near miss. They could have won the league. And you see Manchester City, if they are not winning, they are second or third. Liverpool, the same. Chelsea. These are teams that are consistently churning out performances. That is how a structure of a league should look like. It's not just about a team. We are not talking about the era of Olympique Lyon in France that won league back-to-back, or when it became the turn of Paris Saint-Germain that also won, I think, about 5, 6, 7 seasons on the bounce. That's not what we are talking about. But at least intermittently, just like the German Bundesliga, once Bayern wins, you see a team like Bayern Leverkusen also coming to win. Borussia Dortmund will also show interest. In the French, in the Spanish La Liga, you see Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Atletico Bilbao. There are some teams that will, Villarreal at a point,
Betis, yeah.
Real Betis too, they will show interest. But then one thing is clear. There are teams that are likely, even Sevilla, that are likely going to finish in the top 7. You know them already. So you rarely have new entrants in that space. Why? Because it is normal that in the league some teams are stronger financially, they are stronger in terms of personnel, and they attract more quality players and quality coaches in terms of what they have built, the fan base, and of course the platform available for these players to thrive. This should be transferred into the Nigerian league too. I mean, we don't want to have a wishy-washy kind of arrangement where something today, it's another thing tomorrow. It really does not help the world outlook for the team. I mean, no reasonable player will be out there and want to play in the league where you win the league this season, you are not even sure you are going to be in the top 4 next season. So for Remo Stars and Enyimba, it's going to be a very dicey situation for both teams. They both need the points, but then it might just end in a draw because Enyimba would want to make a statement. But Remo Stars are also struggling to score goals. So they might just hold it tight at the back, and then, it might end in a stalemate between these two teams. For Ikorodu City and Wiki Tourists, I see Ikorodu City maintaining a winning run, especially in the game against Wiki Tourists. Yes, Wiki is not a small team. There are no small fries so far this season. They have also shown they defeated Shooting Stars Football Club, and they have also shown their capacity to be at least in the mid-table this season. Inconsistently, yes, but intermittently they have turned out victories against some teams. And I do believe that Ikorodu City is going to carry it. Why? Because if you look at their level of consistency in the last 10 games, they built a momentum and they are working towards that. They win at home, away, they have been getting results, and that should work for them too against Wiki Tourists. All they have to do is to make sure they score as early as possible. When you do that, you keep the ball, and then your opponent keeps running around, and then before you know it, it's the blast of the whistle, and that's the end.
Right, something ago, you're talking about marketing the league, and something popped up in my mind, just a little bit of, moving away from discussion. After Cristiano Ronaldo picked up the red card, we got the report that he's going to be suspended for 2 games in the World Cup. Then finally we got that FIFA said it's not going to be suspension. He's going to play throughout the World Cup if he's without an injury. So I spoke to, a sport analyst also, and he said, come on, do you think FIFA would not want to sell the game? I mean, sell, tickets. Imagine not having Ronaldo play the first 2 games in the group stage. Do you see that also as FIFA also marketing the league in that right? Also, just a little bit moving away from discussion.
You see, there are exceptions to every rule. And let me cite a quick instance. I think yesterday we were talking about Mamelodi Sundowns giving Collation an option to play their league, their Champions League, CAF Champions League game in South Africa. Why did they want to do that? Because they know that they are going to fill the stadium to the brim, and they make the money. They just give Remo Stars a peanut, maybe 20, 30,000, or 40,000 US dollars, and that will be it. But all that matters is their sponsors are totally intact. They bring in sponsors, they make money, and that's it. They understand the business aspects of the game. FIFA also knows that this will be the last time you are going to see a Cristiano Ronaldo at the World Cup. This will be the last time you are going to see Lionel Andres Messi at the World Cup. So there are exceptions to everything. You just realize that at the end of the day, there's a loophole in the particular rule, and then it is switched. I mean, it is from time immemorial. If you get carded in a qualifying series, you get transferred into the tournament proper. But what happened? Cristiano Ronaldo is at stake. I mean, how many times World Footballer of the Year again, Ballon d'Or winner, how many titles, top goal scorer around the world with almost 1,000 goals, I think 957 or thereabouts as we speak, and you are saying he will not play the first 2 games. You are not even sure Portugal will qualify for the next phase.
That's right.
So you are saying he's not going to play 2 games, he will just play 1 game, and then they crash out, and then that's the end of Ronaldo. People will fill the stadium if Ronaldo is playing. I'll cite an instance. I think that was a few years ago when it was Argentina, Portugal arranged a friendly, and then people came to the stadium. Why? Because they wanted to see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo play against each other. They thought that would be the last time both players would play. It was a friendly, but it was filled to the brim. Unfortunately for people who went to see the game, both of them were kept on the bench, and they had to come in the second. So these things do happen. You market, there is nothing you can do about it. As much as you don't want to believe it, come 2026, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, you are never going to see them at the World Cup again. If you ever see their faces at the World Cup, maybe as a pundit, as a coach, or as a match commissioner with FIFA, but definitely not as a player. And you know, you just want to relive those experiences you had with these two players. Careers don't last more than that. I mean, these people, they have tried so much to stretch their careers. I'll cite an instance of players who are almost as good as these players, but unfortunately they do not have such a long career. Where is Zlatan Ibrahimovic today? Where is Wesley Schneider, Diego Forlan, Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery? They are practically in the same age category, but where are they? They could not maintain the same momentum with these guys, and they had to crash out. So these things do happen. When it does happen, you know that FIFA also has a role to play. They know that a Ronaldo in a team, in a game, at the opening ceremony of a tournament, I mean, it's going to be sold out all through the world, all over the world. Definitely, they would want to have him play. So whether you like it or not, there's always a loophole for every rule in a competition. They can tell you, oh, you got a red card doing the qualifying phase, and then so thing happened, and then the card was withdrawn. Who told you they will not appeal the card and say, oh, it's no longer a red card, it's a yellow. So this, you have to understand the gimmick behind football. As long as you want to uphold the rule, you want to look strong to people and send a signal, you also understand that you have to make the money. And FIFA is all about making money. If they don't make the money, I don't think you'll be seeing FIFA go projects across the world, like the one you have in KB and some other places across the country. So that's the idea.
I agree. All right. And also maybe I can pick a word for you watching us, just be of value, because, you know, if you're talking Cristiano Ronaldo, I remember an interview he had, and he had to remove, you know, a product from the table, and we saw the crash down of the product. So just be of value.
You see, every player going to the World Cup is a product to be displayed by FIFA.
I agree.
Now, all the products going to the World Cup, they are not of equal value. Some products are more valuable than the others. And definitely, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, and some other players, they are of more value to. In fact, you see when they release the poster for the World Cup, you see the faces that you find.
Yeah, so talking about the poster, something. So there was an error that Cristiano Ronaldo.
It wasn't an error.
Yeah, okay.
It was. You would consider that as a calamity that befell FIFA. You know, sometimes you try to do something. Who told you that it wasn't these countries that were told, oh, send us a picture of your poster boy for the tournament? And it was sent. And then when it was posted, and people went against that. So why would a Cristiano Ronaldo be in a team and you are seeing a Bruno Fernandes? I mean, how?
Come on, explain.
Explain in plain terms. And immediately they tweeted, and then people started complaining. Straight away, even from the website.
Yeah, I agree.
And since then, have you seen any poster? You see, sometimes you, just like you said earlier, be of value. You know, have a definitive thing you are bringing to the table.
Agree.
Be sure that this I'm bringing is of value. Yeah. Be sure that without this thing I'm bringing,
they can't work.
Even if they do, it will not be so. It will not be close. So that is the idea. And Cristiano Ronaldo definitely, as of now, I don't know about 2027, but 2025 to 2026, I think he has what FIFA needs.
All right, let's move away from that. If not, we're going to spend time talking about these two legends of the game. Let's talk about one man who has said goodbye to international football. That's the former captain, the Super Eagles captain of Nigeria, William Troost Ekong, retires from international duty. 32-year-old defender announced his retirement from the Super Eagles on Thursday, weeks before 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Over a decade, he earned 83 caps, scored 8 goals, including a record 5 at the AFCON as the top scoring defender, and won 3 medals across 5 major tournaments. Highlighted by his 2023 Player of the Tournament award in Ivory Coast, he captained the team's triumph like the 2018 World Cup run and outbreaks such as the recent penalty loss to DR Congo. Choosing to step away now after telling teammates in the dressing room, fans cherish his leadership, grit, and legacy as a resilient talisman for Nigerian football. Let's watch, this video from William Troost Ekong. I will be back to talk about that because there's so much, within this news coming through from William Troost Ekong. Stay connected. Do not go anywhere.
Today, I'm announcing my retirement from international football. In 2015, a phone call from the late Stephen Keshi changed my life. A month later, the big boss gave me my debut. His belief in me ignited a desire to follow in his footsteps. Every single time I've put on the iconic shirt to walk out onto the pitch, I've thought back to that exact moment. Going on to captain the Super Eagles was beyond my wildest dreams. Nigeria took me in and trusted me to lead and represent a nation of 230 plus million. From a boy born and raised in the Netherlands to the Oyibo Wall and eventually Schiphol is a privilege I will always hold close to my heart. To have achieved 83 senior caps, played in 5 major tournaments, won 3 medals and broken a few records, I have really lived my dream. A bronze medal at the Rio 2016 Olympics, followed by playing at the 2018 World Cup in Russia and 3 incredible AFCON tournaments with a bronze and most recently a silver medal will remain unforgettable. Being able to lead Nigeria through the 2023 AFCON, scoring in the final and being named player of the tournament was something so special. To this day, I still wish for a different ending. Becoming the highest scoring defender in AFCON history is an honour I share with every teammate who was part of those moments. I'm at peace knowing that throughout all these milestones, I gave everything I had, not just for myself, but to try and inspire the next generation the same way I was inspired by the legends I looked up to and had the pleasure to fight shoulder to shoulder with. It has been so much fun to play alongside my Nigerian teammates. Watching them grow into leaders, time has come to pass on the responsibility, to pass on the opportunity, and to pass on the captaincy. I'm so proud to be part of a group that fully showed it's possible to come home, to play and represent our beloved nation. None of this would have been possible without the people around me. To every coach, member of staff, and most importantly, my teammates and now brothers, past and present, who have been part of my international journey, thank you. To the Nigerian fans, the heartbeat of Nigerian football, your support has carried me through every high and every challenge. This isn't a final goodbye. My work within Nigerian communities continues, just as my love and passion for the team will never fade. The last decade has been filled with commitment, pride, and unforgettable memories. Wearing the Super Eagles shirt has been more than play.
All right, there you have it from the former captain of the Super Eagles, William Troost-Ekong, saying goodbye to international football right there. What a fantastic defender. They call him Schiphol, the Oyinbo Wall, with Leon Balogun back then. Also, Samson Balogun, this is coming, in a certain time where we need, such leadership in the camp of the Super Eagles. And what does it speak to you? Let's talk about William Troost-Ekong, and also what do you think, must have happened for this to come at this point in time?
Well, I think it's really going to be a challenge for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And it's really sad that we have Kabbalized and fraternized the national team. It has become more and more of a place where you can barely talk or, react to some things, or otherwise you won't get called up for the next set of games. And that's really sad. I don't see developments where anywhere you are meant to be, see something, say nothing. I mean, that's the situation right now in the Super Eagles. And I know one of the reasons that could have caused this is the fact that when they went to Morocco, it was one of the most vocal players. In fact, he led them, including the likes of Victor Osimhen and some other senior players in the team, saying, look, this is what we want to play in this tournament, and you have to give it to us because we have invested so much, and we want you to also see things the way we are saying it. Unfortunately, I want to believe that the agreement with the NFF at that time and the compromise that was reached was just reached by lips, because they knew, okay, we are going to give you this money, but eventually some of you will have to pay. And I know for sure. You see, the difference between being born and raised in Nigeria and being born and raised abroad, there's a difference. But not in personality anyway, but in understanding of what things should look like. One thing I am quite sure of is we have seen situations where abroad where coaches will step aside just because it feels like some players are not doing what they expect them to do. And it's not like the team is not performing, but because it feels like there is disharmony in the team, it just wants to step aside and it leaves. Players do say, oh, I don't want to be a part of the national team anymore because this, that. So people walk away for separate reasons. And I think that's one of the reasons he's leaving too. But then, one thing is clear. he saw the light. He read the room. He knew what was next. It was next for him to leave. And it was crystal clear, like Desire Paranozo was saying that on that behind the scenes, that there was a time she also came on board and said, look, the girls have to be treated right, and this and this and this are the things we think we need. Unfortunately, after that, Desire Paranozo was frozen out of the team, and you know, she faded out, and then she had to retire. You see,
Leon Balogun also.
The same way.
He spoke
So the problem now is there are people who think they are bigger than the players. Yes, you are in the management, but the players also contribute greatly. You see, I have a challenge with people in the establishment who think, oh, because you are this, you are superior to the people who are actually doing the actual work. For crying out loud, you don't get to play. You don't get to be under pressure out there. Nobody curses you because you lost a goal scoring opportunity. And nobody throws you a water bottle because you want to take a corner kick or throws you a coin. But these players are out there taking the bullet at all times. So you have to respect them, just like it happens in every organization. The people at the forefront getting the job done, they deserve respect. I mean, sometimes you are really livid about how people talk to you because you feel like I deserve some respect or one way or the other. And that's exactly these guys what they are saying. Just like it will happen anywhere, the players also deserve respect. They want their needs and demands to be met. At least if you are not doing 100%, you should meet at the middle and you should have an agreement. But if it's a case of where if anyone talks, that person automatically becomes the scapegoat. I mean, that's a problem. Now, how about if every one of the team now talks at the same time? So you are going to discard every member of the team and then bring some more players. And I'm really, you see, it happens anywhere anyways. There are some people in the team, you are in the same team, we are fighting that things should be done the right way. And they are snitches. They will leave the table where you're having the conversation and then go snitch on you. Oh, it's so person leading the campaign against you or saying this and that. And then you become the scapegoat unknowingly. You don't even know whatever it is you have said or things you are planning has gotten to the the team, the management level or the NFF level or wherever it is you find yourself. And then you get to be looked some kind of way. Like what you are saying is not genuine, or like what you are saying does not make sense. It does make sense, but then because they feel like, oh, you are building, a team or building an army against the team, but it's usually not like that. These players have come together and said, look, we have a demand. This is what we want. And sometimes the people that really should be checked out and be kicked out of the team are the snitches. And they are in the Super Eagles. You see them consistently, they keep calling them even when they are useless. They are always there. Even when they have no role they are playing. They make it seem like, oh, they are the alpha and omega of the team. But yes, if you check holistically, they are doing next to nothing. The only thing they are doing that they know how to do so well is to snitch. Okay. And that's they are in the Super. A lot of them are there. And you wonder why they are being invited. They will be invited because they are cronies and allies of these people at the management level. They are cronies and allies of football agents who know someone that knows someone that knows someone in the NFF, and then they are just there. We have, so oftentimes you discuss how some players crawled into the team and you'll be like, how? I mean, so person is doing way better than this, and why is this in the team? We spoke about Paul Onuachu and how he was banging in the goals in Turkey, and then all of a sudden, team list is released, Paul Onuachu is not there. There was a time Sadiq Umar was one of the hottest strikers in the Spanish La Liga. I think that was when he was with Real Sociedad. And, he was not invited to, and there are questions. Why is he not there? But there are players who were, consistently chopping bench at their club sides, and they are in the team. So that's why I said, whoever is sponsoring these players, kudos to you. Kudos. You know how to do your job. I mean, that's the work of PR. I mean, they bring them into the team, and then one way or the other, they are just there. But one thing is clear. William Troost-Ekong he has paid his dues. He has done excellently well. He transitioned from a player mentored into the national team by Stephen Okechukwu-Keshi in 2015. And after that, he metamorphosed into the Oyinbo world, just like he said himself and Leon Balogun. Unfortunately, Leon Balogun was kicked out of the team earlier than Troost-Ekong. They came into the team almost at the same time. But then he was kicked out because he also was vocal. You see, when you live abroad and you know you're right, definitely you're going to talk because you feel like this person deserves to hear the truth. But in some cases, African players resident in Africa or grew up in Africa, they feel like, oh, he's the boss. I don't really have to say anything.
Yeah.
But then you are the bad person for keeping quiet because you know the truth. You know the truth. Say the truth and they let the truth set you free.
But how do you feel after the truth?
That's the problem. People tend to, if you truly want to go far, I mean, there's a limit to the truth you tell. Sometimes you know the truth and you just act like you are not saying anything. And that's the best way for you to evade the limelight when it comes to, who is making the noise, who's talking, who's gossiping like that. Because each time you talk, you report. You see, when they report things you say, it is way different from what you have actually said. Because they tend to add a little bit of, they will garnish it, put some things on top, and then they'll be like, oh, he actually said that, and then that will be a problem. So in the Super Eagles, we have seen this situation over and over again. Some players unceremoniously, despite all the services they rendered and what they did for the Super Eagles, they were out of the team without being celebrated. And that for me is really disheartening. If a player has done so well for the team, why not? I could remember there was a time people were calling for the removal of Ahmed Musa from the national team, and then they somehow waited until he marked his 100th appearance in the national team and even got more after that. That's the way to celebrate player, even if it is going to be as a substitute. I mean, how many games left until he becomes, have 100 of appearances for the national team with 8 goals as a defender? I mean, that's a lot. But unfortunately, he's being sent out of the team. Even though it seemed like he resigned on his own and said, look, I have to go, but he saw the handwriting on the wall. He read the room, he knew what was going to happen, and the best thing for him to do is to walk away. If I was in his shoes, I would have done the same thing. But we have some people who really don't know how to read the wall until you are kicked out. Can you imagine a situation where his name is on the provisional list already, and then the competition proper is not there. Don't forget that he was on the bench for the 2 games they played at the qualifying series in Morocco.
I'm sure he was already reading the room at that time.
He knew what was going to happen. It wasn't about performance anymore. It's about you will be on the bench, and there's nothing that will happen. Yes, players who played in his position in his absence, they did well. Yes, understandably. But the point is, we cannot afford to prove a point with the emotions of Nigerian people, with the emotions of lovers of the Super Eagles. We have to get to a stage where we wake up, our mind is awakened, and we understand what is right, what is true, and what should be done.
All right, this is worry times for the fans of the Super Eagles, because the AFCON is upon us, and we'll be waiting for that update, for the release of the list.
He's arguably the only player left in the team with that leadership quality. Just name another player that can actually be a captain in this team and do a William Troost. Yes, I'm not saying that will be the end.
I don't see him as a vocal.
He's usually not at the forefront when it comes to issues. In fact, he shies away from the referee sometimes. He doesn't talk too much. But William Troost, come from his position, will be there to say, oh, ref, this is not true. This should be done, that. But then, hey, if you look at the team right now, aside from Wilfred Ndidi, I have not seen any captain material in there. Zil Nwabali that fumbles and flops his lines, or Moses Simon, who most of the time sits on the bench. But let's see what will happen. I mean, a choice will be made after this.
Definitely. Anyway. All right. Just like Samson Balogun has said, a choice will be made after this, and we'll be here to give you the update on that. Let's move away from that. Let's look at more stories making the round in the world of sport this wonderful morning on Dominion Sport. Because of our time, there you have it on the screen. The fixtures yesterday. Samson Balogun yet again. A team who is not consistently playing, other games are faltering. And yes, Manchester United, who would have thought that, by now they will be 4th or 5th on the log of the table in the Premier League, had to fall through the sword with West Ham United, or the armor through West Ham United. The game ended 1-1. And, we got the report, and we saw those that watched the game, felt there were tactical decisions that he made that made this game go south for his team.
You see, unfortunately, when a coach has a level of backing with the management and the club owners, there's really little fans can do about it. They can just continue to make noise about how badly the coach is performing, but obviously there's nothing anyone can do about this. I saw the game yesterday, and I was really livid at the coach Ruben Amorim about some decisions he made, some substitutions, players playing in a certain position. and you could really tell that even the players are tired of whatever it is going on at Manchester United. And even before the game, we had the analysis here,
yeah.
and I told you I don't see Manchester United winning against West Ham United.
You said that.
The biggest result in this game for both teams will be a draw, and eventually happened that way. They got their first goal in the 54th or thereabout. But then they were pegged back by West Ham United in the 83rd minute. And then, right there and then, I knew that if there was any goal in that game, that would be West Ham United scoring the goal, because they grew into the game. And, it was obvious. And that was even in the absence of their, their most influential player, Lucas Paqueta, who got red carded against Liverpool. I mean, I was expecting them to capitalize on that their midfield would be scanty a little bit, but then Magasa said no. He took the game, by the scruff of the neck, and said, look, we are going to get a goal in this game. And they eventually did. And that was his first goal for West Ham United this season. So I do believe that even the management of Manchester United, they are tired of all this. A team like Manchester United cannot become a West Ham overnight. A team like Manchester United cannot become a Fulham. I mean, they are settling for less, and they are becoming more and more of a mediocre team, and that should stop. Whoever you see, aside from rivalry, a Chelsea fan wouldn't want to see Manchester United win. Yes, but hey, when they're actually watching, that will be against Chelsea, that will be against Arsenal. But when they are playing, when Manchester United is playing other teams, they want to enjoy Manchester United play as a lover of football. And when these things happen, they are demoralized. So if other fans of other football clubs are demoralized and don't want to see Manchester United play anymore, what about Manchester United fans? Most of them right now, they have actually shelved watching football. They just go to check the live score. So what are we playing? And that will be all. I think the management should handle this situation as soon as possible before Man United becomes a Liverpool of about 11, 12 years ago, where they had to bring in Brendan Rodgers in the long run to turn the tide, and then we saw the emergence of Jurgen Klopp. Maybe they need to embark on such projects too. But this project right now, I think is heading for ruins.
Well, come on, Samson Balogun, the Ineos group have said that we're sticking with Ruben Amorim. That is the decision
they might likely stick with relegation too.
Let's see how the season is going to pan out for Manchester United. But let's move away from that. Other games will also play the Coppa Italia right there in the Serie A. There you have it, the Coppa Italia. The game ended 2-1 for Bologna. If you can move swiftly, all that result also on the table right there. Fantastic result, for Lazio against AC Milan. As Zagari, picking up the victory, 1-0 against AC Milan. Samson Balogun, wrapping up the show, is going to be Formula One. Just like we said, is all to race for in the Formula One Abu Dhabi. That's where we're going to have the last race right there of the season in the Formula One. If you can have it displayed on the screen, there you have it. We're going to have the shift right there. The first practice is going to happen on Friday, the 5th of December. Second practice, also qualifying race for the 6th. Then the Grand Prix is going to happen on Sunday, where you have the teams that take a podium stage. But let's talk about the main course of this race. Max Verstappen, you look at Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri also is all to race for 25 points. Look at where they are at this point in time. These were the races that they were able to achieve 7-7. I'm going to ask you yet again, you have actually given me your analysis for this one, but do you think Max Verstappen can take center stage on this final day, or what do they need to do? So Samson Balogun, now these two McLaren boys, these are the McLaren boys. So one needs to step in for one, because I was watching the interview and I was reading some comments, and they asked Oscar Piastri saying, would you rather allow Lando Norris to take the lead? How do you intend to do it? Because Samson Balogun is all to race for. Max Verstappen just needs 25 points to get this done. But it's going to be difficult, because if you look at Lando Norris, if he's not in the top 3, he still stands a chance to win. He's still going to win. But that means he must not be in the top 3 of these races for Max Verstappen to win the race.
You see, it's going to be a very dire situation for all involved. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri. Is going to be a very, very tough race for them. But the truth is that if you look at the current setup, you would understand the fact that some are closer, even without just make sure that you finish in the top 3, and then that for Lando Norris, that will be all. So it's really close. But for the other guys, I think right about now, it's about, I think we said something about it's not down to the players anymore. Sometimes, yes, the drivers know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
How about the vehicles too?
yeah.
So all that has to be put in place too. But then overall, I don't see a surprise. I don't see a surprise in all of this because he knows Lando Norris knows exactly what to do, and he knows how to do it. He's been there for a long time. He's experienced, and definitely he has a very good vehicle with him. So that says a lot about what the result might likely look at.
I want to ask you a question. If you're in Oscar Piastri's shoes now, will you give the race for Lando Norris to win?
Well, it might not really look. It's not that simple. Everybody wants to, you want to shine.
Yeah, you want to shine.
But then you want to just say, oh, let's do one for the team.
Yeah, for the team, actually.
For the team. Yeah. But then, what if the team doesn't even want anybody to step down for the other? Just let's go. Let's see exactly.
They had that throughout the season, actually.
Let's go and see what will happen. Because the reason I said that is that it's always been like that. They have been at each other's neck. This season. And here we are again in Abu Dhabi, and it might likely be the same issue going into the final race.
All right, there you have it. That's all we can take on the show. So make sure you're locked on at the Abu Dhabi race and the Formula One. We'll be here to give you an update back here on Monday. Yes, a quick one. You can also, bring your kids, your wards right here to Dominion Broadcast House to enjoy, Santa Claus, where you have a fantastic offer, giveaways. Your child's going to go home with a big package just for 3,000 naira. You also take a tour, to the studio to look at what it looks like right here in Dominion Broadcast House. So come on, we're inviting you. Bring your wards, bring your family, be part of what we're experiencing here at Dominion Broadcast House at this festive season. I am Paul Toluwanimi Abe. I want to say a big thank you to the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun. Thank you for always coming to the show and bringing your 2 cents on the conversation. Also to the crew and the producer, I say a big thank you to you. We're going to see you again on Monday. A fantastic time. Enjoy your weekend. Stay blessed and have a good one.